I have not gotten my closure. And this is my closure. I am going to speak my truth, and I'm going to speak my truth well. Hey, what is up, everybody? It's your girl Danielle, and welcome back to my channel. If you have not done so already, go ahead and subscribe, okay? You know you want to. Today, we're going to change the tone just a little bit, and I'm going to get a little bit personal with you guys. This is a really new channel, and I want you guys to kind of know about me, know where I'm coming from, and why I started this channel in the first place. This is going to probably be a long video. I will try to put timestamps down below, but this channel really means a lot to me, and it's because of everything that I've gone through in the last 5 years to get to where I am now. And so be sure to stay tuned because the tea finna be hot, honey, okay? And the tea is me, boo. So let's get into it. So for those of you who don't know, I did serve in the Army for 8.5 years. Part of that time, from 2014 to 2015, I was in Afghanistan. And my deployment wasn't horrible. That'll be a whole nother separate video about my deployment, but my deployment wasn't terrible, but I saw some things that kind of broke me down inside. So back in 2015, I had just came back from Afghanistan, and I met up with one of my friends at one of his friends' house, and we just kind of hit it off, you know what I mean? I don't know what it was about him, because the night I met him, he was like chasing a car down the street. Yes, it gets interesting. So he and I hit it off. We actually ended up spending that first night together. And I told him, I said, I don't want to do anything. I just want to cuddle, just be in your presence. And he was okay with that. We just went back to my room, and, you know, we didn't do anything. Mind you, that was Valentine's Day morning. Excuse me. Yeah, that was Valentine's Day morning, 2015. Y'all, he had a girlfriend. I know, this is all my own karma, but he had a girlfriend, and I knew that he had a girlfriend. But something, I don't know. I think I was just lonely when I came back from Afghanistan. So, you know what I mean? We're cool, we're cordial, we're kicking it more and more. He and his girlfriend at the time ended up getting into it, and she kicked him out because he was living with her at the time. She kicks him out. He goes back to his mom's place. That's when we become like official. Okay, because I'm like, no, I'm not doing anything with you till you're, you know, done with your girlfriend or whatever. Now, mind you guys, let me be very clear. I'm 32 now. Back then, I was probably like 24, 25. Probably even, you know, I might have been like 23, 24, something like that. So I'm very young, okay? I'm very young. So have grace throughout this story, okay? Because this story about to get crazy, okay? Y'all, I have to take just a moment because this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm like literally putting my whole life out there on this camera. All right, so he and his girlfriend break up. We officially become official. I am set to move, and originally I was going to just be moving by myself. But he and I asked, it just didn't feel right leaving him there. He had very little resources, and it just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like, I felt in my gut like I loved him and he loved me, and that we were going to be a family, and that he would do so much better if he was taken out of that environment. So he agreed. He moved up to Maryland with me. This was in 2015 as well. Mind you, we hadn't been dating very long. We met like February of 2015 and moved in together out of state by August, September timeframe. Well, he gets a job, everything's fine. I go back to work. We seem to be adjusting fine. I naturally had trust issues because of things that men in my life have done. And so I would check his phone, and so we would argue about stuff like that. And those arguments would get to be pretty bad. And a lot of times, I'm not going to say it's my fault because it takes two to tango. But a lot of those ended in I'm not going to say destruction, but it was definitely very toxic, very, very unhealthy communication styles. I wouldn't let him go, like I wouldn't let him leave, and he wouldn't, and he would just scream at me. It was just we were very toxic for each other. Fast forward to December, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm excited that I'm pregnant. I'm nervous that I'm pregnant, but either way, I'm pregnant. And so he and we embark on this journey of becoming parents together. He's not like super excited, but he's not like not excited. So fast forward to 2018, we get married. He proposes to me July of 2018, and we get married August of 2018, and we are moving across country, away from all of our friends and our family. Our wedding was beautiful. Not much of my family was there. It was a shotgun wedding. You know, we were moving, and we had just bought a house, and it was a lot going on. My grandma had passed right after. Like, it was a lot. We had a lot. So we moved across country 2018, right after we got married, and things just really just started to go downhill. Like, we started to get, now mind you, I've been away from home a lot, obviously, since I've been in the military. So I left home when I was like 22, but my ex-husband had never been this far away from his friends and his family, or from, from home at all. Me, I'm like, it gets better. Because I haven't, I'm from New Jersey. I haven't been back to Jersey in that long, and I'm cool. You know what I mean? But he missed his family, and I understand that, and I get that. So November, we get bad news about some family stuff that's going on back home, and then my father-in-law gets sick. This was such a tough time, y'all. This was such a tough time because I had a really demanding job in the military. My ex-husband was like working at night, and we had this child who was having behavioral issues in school. And then all of this stuff just started piling onto it. We were having financial issues. I made good money. It was just, we were a hot ass mess. We were toxic for each other. We just weren't healthy. We just weren't healthy. He passed away. My daughter and I flew there to meet him. And then when we came back, he really wasn't the same person, and rightfully so. He was moodier than usual. It seemed like he resented me, and it seemed like he just hated me. It seemed like he hated me. And I even told him one time, I was like, it really feels as if you blame me for your father's death, or you blame me for, everything that's going on with your family, because you think that if you were there, none of this would have happened. And the only reason why you're not there is because of me. And I was spot on. He resented the hell out of me. And, I take a lot of accountability for the way that my marriage went, because I was so busy trying to be the one that he changed for. I was so busy trying to be the one that he could rely on, who didn't judge him, who didn't talk down to him, that I let a lot of shit slide. I let a lot of stuff slide. It was like I was okay with him not working. I was okay with him, doing the bare minimum. And it was because I wanted him to be comfortable. I wanted him to feel loved. I wanted him to know, like, I got you. Like, I legitimately got you. I got us. Because I did. I did have us. I was making all the money at the time. And I'm not saying that in terms of like he wasn't shit because he didn't make money. No, that's not the case at all. And I don't think I ever spoke to him in that way. I don't know. Father-in-law passes in June. We fly back here. And July 4th of 2019, he asked me for a divorce the first time. And It came out of the blue for me. Now, he's not a communicator. He does not talk. He did not talk to me. And so my understanding is that he's been unhappy even before we got married. Like, he said things like, I was gonna leave until you got pregnant, leave when your mom moved in. Like, it was all of these things of like, well, I've been unhappy. Mind you, I'm thinking we're good. Like, I legitimately thought that we were good. And to hear that we weren't all of a sudden, and now you want to spring divorce on me, I was fucking heartbroken. Because I'm like, whoa. Number one, I'm doing all the fucking heavy lifting. Okay, let's be clear. I'm paying all these goddamn bills. And I don't say a word about it. I'm making all the doctor's appointments. And I don't say a word about it. I make sure we get our monthly maintenance. I make sure that we have money. But he wanted a divorce. And I'm sure he has his reasons. I know he has his reasons. And I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I said, I have not gotten my closure. And this is my closure. I am going to speak my truth. And I'm going to speak my truth well. So he asked me for divorce July 4th of 2019. And we decided that we're going to try to make it work. We're going to try to plan more date nights. And, be more intentional about each other. And he begrudgingly agrees. And just for the next couple of months, it just went downhill. It just went downhill. We were sleeping in separate bedrooms. And we weren't talking. We were literally just roommates. I didn't want to be involved with him sexually. He wanted to be involved with me sexually sometimes. But it was very clear that everything was fading. Okay? That everything was just fading around us. And I just kept holding on to hope. I just kept holding on to hope that God is going to save my marriage. God is going to save my husband. God is going to save us. If I just stand firm, flat-footed in prayer and in fasting and meditation, and I worship and I pray, God's going to make everything okay. I found out that he was talking to other women. That he was FaceTiming these women. They were calling him daddy. Essentially, he was cheating on me. And everything in my gut knew, but I didn't know. Okay. So I searched. I sure the fuck did. This is my goddamn house. And found an extra phone, found text messages, and confronted him about it. 1:00 in the morning, as soon as he came in the door, I had the divorce papers. And I said, here's our custody agreement. You want to leave? That's fine. But let's be clear. I'm not the problem. Because you have this problem in all of your relationships, where you can't rise to the occasion. But you blame everybody else. I said I never put pressure on you. Even when I should have put pressure on you. But you want to leave? That's fine. Even after going through all that, he never apologized. He never apologized about disrespecting me. Never. And it's because he's not sorry. And I don't even want an apology, honestly, because I don't need it. I'm good without it. But, so after all of that, he and I'm still praying for him. And I'm praying out loud for this man. He's in the room on the other side of my wall. And I'm praying for this man. God, forgive him, for he know not what he do. I'm going to war for my marriage. I want my marriage to be saved. The Holy Spirit said, let that man go. Loud as can be, he said, let that man go. I was holding on like this. I don't want to let him go. I know he's bad for me, and I know I'm bad for him, but I don't want to let him go. He's mine. This is my dysfunction. I know I told you I wanted to go deeper in you, but I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold on to it because this is what you want from me. This is what you want from me. You want me to suffer. You want me to sacrifice my needs for the sake of my family. This is what you want me to suffer, God. Why would you take away what's making me suffer? That's dysfunctional as fuck, but that is exactly how that conversation went. So, we still reconcile once again. He moves back we get rid of a lot of the furniture that's here because the plan is for me and our daughter to meet him back, in his home state. And he gets back there. Mind he left about a year ago, actually. No, I'm thinking about it. Year anniversary of my emancipation. And within about a week. Now, mind you, he just cheated on me, okay? I just found out you were talking to other women. Now we're reconciling, and you're 1,800 miles away from me. You expect me to, just trust you? And these are women who are in your town, and you're telling me that you're not going to block one of them? Like, my nigga, make it make sense. But, so I had trust issues. Rightfully freaking so. And I said, I was questioning whether his ring was on the right hand or not because it didn't look like it was on the right hand. I still don't think I'm crazy. I still don't think it was on the right hand. He made a spectacle of me in front of his friends. Like, it's not even that serious. Like, if you're really not cheating on me and you're really being faithful and you're really not doing the things that I think that you're doing, you don't have to make a spectacle about it. You know what I mean? Like, you're intentional about it. But he wasn't. He made a fucking joke of it because it was a joke to him. And within about a week to week and a half of him being back with his, in his habitat, in his home environment, he texted me and said, it's clear to me that this isn't going to work. And then just stopped replying. Right before the pandemic started. Right before I was losing my job. So I'm alone. I had no friends. I had very little family here where we are because I am all the way across the United States from my family. Even with the friends that I have here, I'm not very good at asking for help, so I was alone. Moved across the United States to build a life with her husband and her child, purchased a home, made roots here, decided to leave a career for my family because I wanted to spend more time with them. I wanted to be less stressed out, and I just knew it was time for me to get out of the military. And he left me in my time of need. After picking him up on the side of the road several times because the cop stopped me, he ain't got no license. To sit through his berating and never once call him a couple of words that I could have called him. I was the praying wife. I was the faithful wife. I was the loyal wife. And you know what hurts the most is that for a long time, I didn't care about people's feelings. I was okay with telling people how it was. And I asked God to deliver me from that because I realized that I was hurting people. And so in walks this man who berates pretty much everyone that he talks to. And I don't say and I'm not sitting here saying that I was perfect in my marriage. I wasn't. But one thing that I never did was I never talked bad about my husband. I was never the wife who said, you ain't shit. I was never the wife who did that. I was never the wife who did that. And that's what hurts the most, is because I had all this anger and resentment inside of me that I just kept stuffing down. I just kept stuffing down my needs, my wants, because I want my husband to rise to the occasion. I want my husband to be the husband that I want him to be. I want my husband to love me. I don't want my husband to hate me. So I'm just going to stuff down every single thing that I actually need. So he left February of 2020, right before the pandemic hit. This is my truth. And I'm telling it because there are other young ladies out there who need to hear this. I'm grateful for the experience that I had because I know that God was in the midst of that breakup. And I know that that breakup was necessary. And I learned a lot about myself, which I will discuss in a whole nother video. But I hope you all were able to kind of follow along. I know that this is kind of all over the place, but this is my truth. Okay, this is a part of me that I am bearing to you. Okay, the place that I'm in now feels good. I'm back to myself. I'm doing my makeup. I'm thriving financially. I'm able to be creative. I'm really back in touch with Danielle. And in a whole nother video, in the part 2 of this video, I am going to be talking about how I got back to myself and what my divorce taught me. But the whole reason for me making this video is to tell somebody, don't ignore those red signs. Don't ignore those red flags. Okay? If he does it to everybody, he don't do it to you. They may not hit you all the time, but they might hit you. And I'm not going to sit here and bash my ex-husband. I'm not. He was being exactly who he was. It was my fault. And I'm not going to victim blame either. I'm not victim blaming myself, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to take ownership of my decisions. And my decision was to buckle up and enjoy the ride. And it all comes from a trauma place and everything like that, and I get that, and we'll talk about that in another video. But again, the whole purpose of this video was to tell somebody out there, do not ignore those red flags, sis. Okay? Don't ignore those red flags. Not a lot of women are lucky. Okay? And I'm not bashing my ex-husband, because he and I have a pretty decent relationship right now when it comes to our child, mainly because I just don't apply the pressure. I don't ask for nothing. I bet you if I was asking for something, it might be a little bit of a different story, but I'm not. I'm chilling. We have everything that we need. I don't need anything from anyone at this time. And when I do, I know how to assert myself to make that happen. But I sit here today officially divorced. It was on me to file the divorce, of course. But I did it. Shout out to me. And I know the tone of this video is, a little bit low, and I'm cool with that because somebody needed to hear this. Okay? We had some great times. We had a lot of great times, actually. It was just the bad times that were really bad. So I hope that this is everything that I needed to say. I was really urged in my spirit to make this video by my ancestors and by God. They were not going to let up until I made this video. So I hope that they are pleased. I hope that this inspires someone to desire better for yourself. Don't ignore the red flags, okay? Don't ignore the red flags. They're there for a reason. Okay, marriage ain't gonna change it. Having a baby ain't gonna change it. It's only gonna make it harder for you to leave when you decide that you want to. So the whole purpose of this channel is for me to kind of show you all my spiritual journey, to share with you all the lessons that I've learned, how I'm adjusting to single motherhood, how I am just doing what God is telling me to do. And I'm so blessed to have this platform. I'm so blessed for the 24 of you that have subscribed to me. So share with your friends and your family. We just learning and glowing over here. I love y'all.